I think we need to make sure we've got the right guy. Let's go to the phones now. Let's go to Matt. You're up first tonight on the Erick Erickson Show. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Sure.
I find it curious when you're covering the Iowa. The real story is Ron Paul moving into second, and I think on top of Drudge right now, he's only a point behind Gingrich. Is that right?
He is rapidly moving towards first place. Now, here's the problem with the Paul surge, though, just to keep it realistic, is that internally, when you look at the internals, in fact, my buddy Tim Carney, who is a Ron Paul fan over at the Washington Examiner, I had this up on my screen just a minute ago and accidentally closed it. Let me pull this back up because this is worth repeating. Paul's surge is largely among new voters, young voters, and non-Republican voters.
Exactly. That's what we need to win, though. To beat Obama.
But hang on a second.
Let me make the statement.
Okay, you make the statement, but I might be about to blow holes in it and not intentionally.
Well, okay. Well, in order for the Republicans to beat Obama, they have to build the base and win the independents. Paul polls amongst independents better than any of the other candidates. And another thing is, what I can't stand is everyone bashing him on his foreign policy, which is constitutional, when active military gives more donations to Paul than any other candidate combined, including Obama.
Well, here's the problem, Matt, and that is in the caucus. If you go back through how I describe the caucuses, new voters, young voters, and non-Republican voters don't go to the caucuses. So while he may be ahead in that polling, those people typically don't turn out of the caucus. Now, do I think he's going to win the caucus? He may very well. I would not be surprised if he won the caucus. But he's not going to do it with new voters, young voters, and non-Republican voters. And this is the PPP poll, if the public policy polling, which, by the way, leans Democrat, if they're polling this, they didn't have a good track record in 2008 with the polls, largely because they spent some time polling voters who don't go to the caucuses. So among caucus goers, he's definitely in second place, I think. Can he get into first place? I'm not sure he can. Would he go third party? I don't think he will.
Well, here's what will happen, though, is people like me that really don't see any difference between, Newt Gingrich and Obama, or, when we ran McCain, there was really no difference between either of them. I won't come. I voted for Bush twice.
Well, see,
I've woken up.
And that's the deal, though, Matt, is that the parties largely go into the general elections with their bases and try to persuade as many independents as they can. They understand you probably won't go. And,
no. I voted for Bush twice.
Yeah, I get it.
The base is shrinking because we're refusing to realize that we're wrong, that the Republican mainstream belief that we can police the world and not go bankrupt as a result is dead wrong, and they're unwilling to accept it, just as the liberals are unwilling to accept it when they're wrong. And until that happens, the Republican base will continue to shrink and will continue to get morons like Obama in office.